If I asked you right now, lower class, middle class, or upper class, you'd probably have an answer ready before I finished the sentence. That answer would almost certainly be based on a feeling. It's based on your paycheck, your neighborhood, the car you drive, or whether your friends seem to have more or less than you. But here's the problem. Wealth class has almost nothing to do with any of that. It comes down to one objective number: your net worth. When you actually sit down and calculate that number, not your salary, not your lifestyle, not your Instagram curated version of your finances, but the raw subtraction of what you owe from what you own, most people discover they are not where they think they are. Today we are going to deconstruct the American wealth ladder using the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances to show you exactly where you sit and, more importantly, how to move up. The fundamental rule: flow versus stock. Before we climb, we have to fix the single most common mistake people make. Your income is not your wealth. Your income is a flow. It comes in every 2 weeks, and for most people, it goes right back out. Your wealth is a stock. It is what stays. It is the accumulated reservoir of your financial life. Net worth is the only metric that matters. A surgeon earning $350,000 a year with $400,000 in student and consumer debt has a lower net worth than a teacher earning $55,000 with a paid-off house and a modest retirement account. The surgeon feels rich. The teacher doesn't. But the math doesn't care about feelings. The bottom 25%, the income trap. Let's look at a typical case. Meet Tyler. He's 34, a marketing manager, and earns $85,000 a year. He takes home about $5,200 a month after taxes, drives a 2022 sedan, and lives in a decent apartment. Tyler feels solidly middle class. But let's run his actual numbers. Between his car value and a small 401k, he has $37,000 in assets. Between his car loan and student debt, he owes $44,000. Tyler's net worth is negative $7,000. He isn't middle class. He is in the bottom 25% of American households. This bracket is full of people earning 6 figures who simply haven't built assets. The money comes in and the money goes out. This is the trap of the bottom bracket. You can earn your way into a comfortable lifestyle without ever building actual wealth. The lower middle class, the equity phase. To cross into the lower middle class, you need a net worth between $23,000 and $179,000. Most households in this bracket didn't get here through brilliant stock picking. They got here through home equity. For this group, the house is the primary wealth-building vehicle. While this level represents progress, the financial fragility is still real. If you strip away the home equity, the liquid cushion, the cash you can actually touch in an emergency, is often paper thin. A job loss or a medical emergency can destabilize a household in this bracket within weeks. The net worth looks stable, but the resilience is low. The median, the midpoint of America. The median net worth in the United States is $193,000. This is the exact midpoint. Half of all households have more, half have less. At this level, the breakdown usually shows around $120,000 in home equity, and the rest spread across retirement accounts and small savings. The number that should bother you, however, is that for the median American, The liquid net worth, cash and accessible investments, is only around $30,000 to $40,000. This explains why one recession or one major layoff sends the average household into a spiral. They aren't broke, but they aren't secure either. The upper middle class, the compounding launchpad. Between $193,000 and $610,000, something fundamental shifts. This is where wealth building becomes intentional. Below this level, wealth usually happens by accident, through mortgage payments. In this bracket, people are actively maxing out 401ks and taxable brokerage accounts. By the time a household hits $500,000, their asset mix is often split 50-50 between their home and their investments. This rebalancing is critical because investments grow and compound, while a house just sits there. This bracket is the launch pad. The math shows it takes far less time to go from $600,000 to $1 million than it took to go from $0 to $600,000. Compounding isn't linear, it's exponential, and it kicks in hard right here. The top 25%, the inversion point. Entering the top quarter of American households requires a net worth between $610,000 and $1.72 million. At this level, the financial picture inverts. Below this bracket, your house is your biggest asset. Above it, your investments are. This is where the millionaire next door lives. These aren't usually flashy people in luxury cars. They are disciplined savers who prioritized investing over consumption. A household investing $1,000 a month with a 7% return over 20 years will end up here, regardless of whether they ever had a huge salary. It's about what you keep, not what you earn. The top 10%, financial independence. The threshold for the top 10% is $1.72 million. At this level, wealth works fundamentally differently. A $1.72 million portfolio, earning a modest 4% annually, generates roughly $69,000 a year in passive income. That is more than the median household income in the U.S., produced entirely by the money itself. At this stage, work becomes a choice rather than a necessity. Risk tolerance goes up, and opportunities multiply because you have the time wealth to wait for the best returns. While the top 1% starts at over $12 million, the top 10% is a mathematically achievable goal for many households who start early and stay consistent. The reality of the ladder. The wealth ladder isn't one size fits all because of the age factor. The median net worth for someone under 35 is only $39,000, while for those aged 65 to 74, it's $410,000. Where you stand depends heavily on how much compounding time you have left. If Tyler stays on his current path, he will reach age 54 with a net worth of $120,000, well below the average for his age. But if he gets intentional, eliminates his debt, and redirects that cash into investments, that same Tyler ends up with $500,000. If he gets aggressive and increases his income while maintaining his lifestyle, he hits $1 million. Same person, 3 different paths. The ladder isn't fixed. People move up it every day, not by hoping, but by running the numbers and making decisions that match the math. Tyler's numbers are fictional, but the math is real, and so is yours.